All right, welcome back everybody to new playthrough for October. We're gonna play some Darkest Dungeon. We'll let the cutscene play out.
Ruin has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows.
Nice.
Of the darkest dungeon.
Darkest Dungeon, blah, 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 blah. Darkest Dungeon, about making the most of bad situations. Quests will fail or must be abandoned. Heroes will die, and when they die, they stay dead. Progress auto saves constantly, so actions are permanent. Game expects a lot out of you. How far will you push your adventures? How much will you be willing to risk in the quest to restore the hamlet? Will you sacrifice to save the life of your favorite hero? Thankfully, there's a fresh soul arriving at the stagecoach, seeking both adventure and fame. Alright, we're going to be doing New Estate. Adds new circus area, multiplayer battles. That's fine. Yeah, we're just going to turn those two off because I'm not familiar with... I know the Crimson Court has some sort of disease-based element to it. I don't want to be playing with it. Radiant campaigns, still challenging, are adjusted for far faster and more forgiving than normal. Suggest your first dungeon experience. Normal campaign's original settings for the game. While there's no time limit to the win, the campaign will no longer be more challenging. Campaign will be longer and more challenging than Radiant mode. Division campaigns are not for the faint of heart. Expect no quarter, no forgiveness. Must conquer the evil within time, and the hero's death limit. Also, many game settings are locked. We'll just do Darkest because I don't feel like playing. I kind of played this back before all the DLCs and whatever were out, so I kind of know some of this, but I'm also blind to other pieces of this because the game was not very fun. I wouldn't say fun.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places.
There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path,
I believe
you
this
will
is
face
the,
viciousness,
what do they call
violence,
that,
and perhaps
tutorial.
other damnably transcendent terrors.
I'm gonna have to relearn how to play this
So
game a
steel
little bit.
yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Navigation, you currently in a room. Move forth, click on another room, display, take you to connecting hallway. Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna have to use the mouse.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path.
On the hallway, press the D.
Hamlet is just ahead.
Click move forward, A to move back. If you prefer the mouse, you can click head behind the party just to move them.
An ambush. Send these vermin a
Surprise.
message. The rightful owner has returned, and their
Kill the
kind
enemy,
is
turn-based
no longer
combat.
welcome.
Kill icon, then click on the highlighted target.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Boot, yay.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home. Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places. Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Rude. Yay, bleed. Punishment. Dodge.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
When most monsters die, they leave corpses act as temporary obstacles, so they actually go away on their own. You can attack corpses to destroy them faster. Monsters killed with bleed blight. Crypt leaves no corpses at all.
accursed champion falls. A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
We're gonna remain for just a sec. Investigate. It's trapped. Oh well. In the game. Boy of Light, God. Pray for stress relief, prone to stealing items. Great. We did it. Victory. What do we got? Fear of Mankind, Beast Hater. Wonderful.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours
Also
now.
complete your
And you
freeway
are
into
bound
the
to them.
ruins. Defeat the apprentice necromancer. There's lots of other stuff here to do. See? Raise Vestal to level 6. Yay! And help where you may.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will
Whoa.
find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Upgrade stagecoach. Empty, blah blah blah. Alright, we can use some of this, which I have a little bit of. Or do I? I don't know. Oh no, I don't. I have some. Alright, don't care about that. Doesn't much more you can embark to in town right now. Time to embark on your quest.
Most will end up here, covered in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion. In time, you will know the tragic extent of my feelings.
Very rare.
Trinkets and charms, gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
Great bumper. I see. I don't think we're going to be doing that much. Increase number of available trinkets. Nomad wagon. Reduce the cost of trinkets purchase. Ugh. Crew says here barracks. I can hold up to 10 guys. We'll do this.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this. An increasing stockpile of curious trinkets, gathered from forbidden places.
Bark.
Of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
This is where you select quest, form venturing party. Guess maybe I'm gonna have to do this mouse and keyboard style. Let's see here. What do you prefer to be there? You prefer to be here? You prefer to be there? And you prefer to... Okay, so we're doing good right now. Let me get rid of this. Go mouse and keyboard here, I guess. Alright, so we can go in the Warrens. We can go in the Darkest Dungeon, which I'm not going to do. We're just going to do Warrens right now. Visions.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
Yep, that is true. So what we need to do here is bring a little of everything with us. For bandages, shovel maybe. Lots of food. And torches, always good. Okay, and I don't remember this. I don't remember this being a thing in the original game. You just kind of fucking dealt with it. Let's see here. Right, some toxins. That's okay. I don't care about that. Alright, we'll embark with what we got here. And we got to explore 90% of these rooms, which basically means we're just going to go in a big circle in order to try to explore the room as quickly as possible. Some of these things, like, I don't think this lampstand can do me any damage by any stretch of imagination, but there'll be a lot of curios and other things that I can run into that I'll either have to take a risk on or is what it is. Little chest I don't have to worry about. Big chest I will. So, a little background, I guess. I was originally planning to play, Bioshock, or not Bioshock, System Shock. But unfortunately, that game proved to be a lot more challenging than I remember. Like, it is I believe it is a true survival horror-esque game where you have a very limited set of ammunition and, you know, you're designed to try to conserve that ammo as best as you can, but like at the same time the game's like wide open. Like, you know, like walk into a room or something and anything that's on a shelf you can pick up and put into your inventory. Some of it may be important and some of it may not be important.
Even the cold
and
stone seems bent on preventing passage.
I don't know. I mean, it's an old school type game. I mean, I don't blame by any stretch of imagination, but like, just absolutely flabbergasted by how much I could pick up. And then, because I was playing on controller instead of mouse and keyboard, there's a button somewhere on my controller that turns everything in my inventory into scrap. And I'm pretty sure I scrapped everything in my inventory, for better or worse. Not that I think that any of that mattered that early in the game, but
as the enemy crumbles.
like the game's got 3 different modes. Okay, it's got 3 different options that can be tuned to easy, medium, or difficult, and that includes how difficult are the enemies? Do you want them easy, medium, or hard? How hard do you want the survival portion of this game to be? Do you want it to be easy, i.e. you can't throw away anything that's a key item? And maybe ammo's a little more abundant, but the game's a little easier as well because of that? Or do you want it so, like, normal, like the original game where you can throw anything away, but that also means that you could end up in a no-win situation if you accidentally throw something away or forget to pick it up.
Destroy them all.
And then the hard difficulty on that one was do all of this in under 10 hours. Like you're on a clock in addition to everything else. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to obviously pick hard difficulty for that one. And then the other thing is there's puzzles, easy, medium, and hard. Well, the easy puzzles are very easy, but the medium puzzles are not easy. And I'm just like, are some of these supposed to be not solvable? Is that the point? Yeah, my paladin's got the quirk where he occasionally steals random things. He wants whatever's in the loot. So... downside to this game, I'm finding after 20 minutes into the first episode is like I've made no progress whatsoever in 20 minutes. And if I do this for another 20 episodes, like you're talking like roughly 20 runs of this, I'm not going to be able to beat this game in 20 runs. Because I have to do some of this off camera, which also means there's a chance that some of my guys are just going to evaporate. Like episode 1, here's your standard team with your Crusader and your Highwayman, your Vestal and your Plague Knight. And then next thing you know, you tune in like 2 episodes from now, and I don't have a Vestal anymore, or a Plague Knight, or Plague Doctor, and like my, like Paladin's been institutionalized for 3 episodes because he's just, I got him so, well, not at the moment, I don't have him fucked up that bad, but like, he's like practically permanently riding the bench for like 3 episodes.
Faint hope blossoms.
Hope blossoms? Or is it merely a trick of the light? I do love the narrator in this, it's just so good. He's just so good, particularly when you play this for the first time. And you're like, you're going through the different rooms, and he's like, a monumental victory. Or is that just a trick of the light? It's just like, I know those 2 lines don't go together,
And not the rule.
but at the same time, like, this game's so good. Ooh, I love it. I hate it because, like, you get late in this game, and you start getting guys that are like level 5 and level 6, and then you send them off into one of the more difficult areas, and you just watch all of your progress just completely get wiped off the face of the earth. And it just makes me cringe so hard. You know? Because you're like, okay, I built the perfect, let's say 4 teams. So that's a total of 16 guys. You got 4 teams ready to roll, and then you go to fight an upper level version of a boss or something, and you just watch as like, oh, those guys went insane. Oh, those guys had an unfortunate miss. Oh, that guy died immediately, despite not being at death's door. And you're like, oh good, I get to go redraft a guy and just spend tons of money and time leveling them back up to the point where that character that just died, just costing me time and effort and runs, and just like, I get it, that's the genre, Chris, you shouldn't be complaining about it, but like, oh boy, losing guys is just like, oh, it's like the most infuriating thing. Like, particularly when you get towards the end of the game and you're like, okay, I've got my guys, we're all set up, and then you find out that when you take a run into the darkest dungeon, they'll only go there once. I.e., you better complete what you're planning on completing, because they're not going back into the dungeon again. They get a little torch icon next. Well, I should preface this by saying the last time I played this game, which was about 2 or 3 years ago, That's how it was. Or they would get a little torch icon, which I believe gave them some sort of statistical boost, but they would not go into the final area again. Which means that if you have to abandon the run because they're overwhelmed with stress, or they're gonna die, I mean, you can save them obviously, but they're not going back into that dungeon again. It means that every time you send 4 guys in, those are 4 guys coming out of the final area that are not going back in, and you might as well just flush them down the commode. I mean, they're still useful for doing the other areas like this, whatever area we're in. There's 4 areas. There's the Cove, there's the Warren, there's something,
Great is the weapon that
and there's
cuts on its
something.
own.
But they're all based on like different areas. Like one's an area that's supposed to be more like a bandit's paradise. This one's supposed to be more like undead, Berg, necromancer bullshit. Cove is the easiest one because it's based on like eldritch horrors and fishmen sort of things. Like he'll be dead in a sec. So usually in this case, what you want to use that turn for is,
As victories mount,
yeah, we're actually going to keep going here a little bit. I want to actually investigate the last room. But if I was doing a little bit worse, i.e. someone had like a pretty bad flaw, right now I'd probably abandon the rest of this mission. But there is another gold room for me to go get, so I don't anticipate running into any more enemies here between here and the end of the next room.
purchase,
And
spirits are
because
lifted,
the food and the
purpose is
torches
made
aren't really
clear.
going to do anything money-wise for me, it's not really going to matter. So, it's fine. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this game where like you complete a mission and it's just like, okay, nobody died. There's some stress, but no one's got like a big bad negative quirk. You know, you've made a decent amount of either loot or relics, and just get the fuck out of here. Come back later. Because I've just watched so many of these, not necessarily in this run, but in previous attempts at this game, I've seen just stuff just get flushed. Like, oh, I'm doing super good, I've got low stress, my guys all have really great HP right now, I only have to fight these 3 guys, this one's on like no health as it is, and just one miss and that's it. It's just like, okay, this one gets to do a stress turn, then Plague Knight goes insane, causes damage to itself, and then starts stressing everyone else in the party out. Grape shot. Yeah, it's a good example of a miss. Kinda don't want to miss. So yeah, you want to lay down. This game does a really good job with the debuffs, like particularly there's 2. There's poison and there's bleed. And you want to make everything poisoned and bleeding. That's the kind of like the big thing. Yeah, your big sword crusader guy, he can do big damage. He could swing his big sword and swing and do 15 damage. But you give me a plague doctor or someone who can create bleed and bleed out the back 2 rows. Oh yeah. That's worth more than anything. Those fuckers create stress, which creates fucking... Just makes your life hard, because... We'll see if we get there or not. Right now we're running very low on stress, so I don't foresee it. And then I ran out of room.
Trifling victory.
Yeah, I
But
could
a
probably
victory
toss out
nonetheless.
the shovel. Or the food. Food's worthless at this point. Shovel's worthless at this point. Trying to figure out what's the cheapest thing here. Alright, and then, believe it or not, gotta get in here.
A handsome reward
That's not too bad.
for a task well performed.
Yeah, I can dump anything here at this point. Alright, let's be extra greedy and we'll 100% complete this dungeon.
A fortune waiting to be
Yeah, the
spent.
key doesn't matter to me at all.
The match is struck.
The match
A
is struck.
blazing star is born.
And that's 100%. Congrats. Next. That was a good collection, I'm not gonna lie.